There's an incredibly arrogant anti-Israel streamer named Hamzah. He must have seen his content. He just goes around interviewing IDF soldiers, trying to get them to say things really bad about Palestinians, etc. And he was in a debate recently with a pro-Israel streamer named Sahar, official Sahar TV, and got absolutely embarrassed by Sahar and actually his wife. Check it out.
I want you to bookmark again the definition of Zionism. Please go read it. Please go understand what it is, because it's
Well,
not the European movement.
do you
Because it's not the European movement.
do you know what Zionism is?
Of course I know.
Do you know what
It's the will to go back to Zion, to the land of Israel. It has nothing to do with the movement that you're talking about from Europe, about Herzl. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with that. All Jews around the world are Zionists. Most of them. A lot of them are going against.
But that's no, that's false. That's false. Not all actually.
So what's Zion? What's Zion?
There are many anti-Zionist Jews.
You know why? Because you guys are scaring the
Zionism,
shit out of them with your protests.
so modern Zionism is the nationalist movement to establish a Jewish state in Palestine specifically. Right, that is what modern Zionism is. If you go back to 1897, 1898, where Theodor Herzl literally defined this as that. I mean, that is Herzl's Zionism, right? That is Ben Gurion. You know Ben Gurion? That is Haganah. That is Israel.
Hamzah, why do Jews want to go back to Israel? Why did they want to go back to Israel for so many years?
Jesus.
That's exactly the same reaction you had last time we talked.
Did you? I mean, so Zionism is interesting. I think if you can I talk for a bit before, like, I know, because I'm gonna say some stuff that you might want to interrupt me in, but just can I talk for a bit? Yeah. Oh man, some freedom. Okay, so Zionism, the idea of having a Jewish state was not even from the Jews themselves. It was a British project in the 19th century, a British European movement, a colonialist movement, an imperialism movement, right? They wanted control over the Middle East after the Ottomans, but they also had a problem. They called it the Jewish problem, right? They wanted to get rid of the Jews, right? And also establish control over the Middle East. And I think, so I mean, they supported this idea in the 1860s even. This was before Zionism was actually given the definition by Theodor Herzl in the Congress in 1898. But then Zionism became a thing in 1898, right? This idea originated back in the 1860s, as I just mentioned, with the British, and the origins of Zionism, as I mentioned earlier, is imperialism. It's colonialism. Those are the origins.
Just so you understand the absurdity of what he's saying, that Jewish state was never a thing. Well, it goes all the way back to Abraham and then Moses and all this other stuff. Biblical verse, Exodus 33. Leave this place, you and the people you brought up out of Egypt, and go up to the land I promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. This is Exodus. This is 3,000 years ago. This is not recent history. This isn't 1900s. And, that's why essentially the evangelical Christians support Jews living in the state of Israel, because it says it in their Bible, as well as it says, Paul, through the Jews you will be blessed, and through the Jews you will be cursed.
Of Zionism.
Okay. Can I talk now?
I mean, yeah, sure. And maybe, once again, I mean, you may have your own interpretation of what Zionism is, but this is what it is. I mean, practically, this is what it literally is. And you may not like hearing that. You may have a different meaning, but that is what Zionism is. Like, in your heart, you may have a different meaning, but this is how it played out. I mean, I'm just telling you historical facts and history, like what actually happened.
Okay. Zionism is the right for the Jews to self-determine in their ancestral homeland. You and I both agreed the Jews lived here 3,000 years ago. Correct? Just say yes or no.
So the ancient Hebrews
wait,
are not the same
I'm not asking
people
to be,
that
I'm
live
not
in
asking to
Israel
be interrupted,
today.
just like I did not interrupt you. Just say yes or no. That's all I'm asking. Were Jews living here 3,000 years ago?
Yes.
Did Jews build
Hebrews.
a culture on this land?
Hebrews.
The Jews, no, Bnei Israel.
So
it says it in your Quran. The Jews.
Yes, Hebrews.
No. Bnei Israel. Bnei Israel are the sons of Jacob. You guys are the sons of Ishmael. We are the sons of Jacob. That's what it says in Surah 5:20-21.
They're Hebrews though.
They're
Hebrews.
They're
They're
Bnei
Hebrews.
Israel.
2,000, 3,000 years ago. That's what you're talking about. They're Hebrews. They're Hebrews.
They're Jews. Judea. The land was called Judea.
Yeah. Ancient Hebrews. The ancient Hebrews were there.
What was the land called in the Torah, in the Quran, and in the Bible?
Well, it's not a religious issue. I don't know why religion.
No. I'm just asking, what was it called? Because they were both developed way before 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 500 years ago. What was it called in those books?
I mean, you're mentioning the Quran, the Bible, the Torah, as if this is a religious issue.
It's not a religious issue. I'm giving you.
Okay,
then.
Okay, it has nothing to do with religion. Those books were created as a historical precedent, meaning those are not created, but they were brought down by God, but they were written. Even if you believe that religion has nothing to do with it, they were created thousands of years beforehand, and therefore it's basically, at the very least, a historical argument, in the sense that if 3,000 years ago they were calling them Jews, they're probably, referring to the Jews today.
I feel like that's irrelevant.
I'm giving you historical context from books that are very, very old. Old, and they all state Israel.
Sure, it said Holy Land.
It doesn't say Holy Land. It says Israel.
It says Holy Land, though. I mean, children of Israel from the Quran
are the sons. Israel is the second name for Jacob, so we are the sons of Jacob.
So
okay, the Muslims are the sons of Ishmael.
The Israelites. Sure. Okay. So what? Now what?
So that means that what? I'm saying in your Quran it says it's promised to the and it has nothing about religion. I'm not going to talk about religion. I'm saying the name Israel is mentioned in the Quran. The land Israel is mentioned in the Bible. The land Israel is mentioned in the Torah, meaning the people living here were Israelites, were from Israel. Okay? Now, the definition of Zionism is the right for the Jews to go back to their ancestral homeland, which is Israel.
And the land Palestine was mentioned in the Greek texts.
Okay, and so what?
So exactly. So what?
So what?
Names are stupid. Names are stupid.
Okay, it's still.
Yeah, it's just a name.
Let me finish what I have to say.
Sure.
When we talk about Judaism, when we talk about Arabs, when we talk about ethnicities, because Judaism is an ethnicity, it's an ethno-religious group. When we talk about Arabs, it's an ethnicity. Where do Arabs come from? Where do they originate from? That's the question. Answer the question, and then we'll move forward. Where do Arabs originate from?
Arabs are diverse. I mean,
no.
They don't all come.
What's
from
their origin? Where do they originate from?
Well, Egyptians come from Egypt. Lebanese come from Lebanon. Syrians come from Syria.
That's nationalities. I'm talking about ethnicity.
No. That's
so. Let me tell you.
They are there. They are there.
Arabs,
Jordanians come from Jordan. I mean, they are there. They are made up of the indigenous population. I did my ancestry. I don't know if you did.
Arabs come from a place called the Arabian Peninsula.
And Phoenician, an Arab for me.
Arabs come from a place called the Arabian Peninsula, which is in Saudi Arabia. That's the area. Okay.
Not exclusively. I think that was my whole point.
No. But that's the origin of the Arab people. That's where it started.
Well, not exclusively.
The place of origin for Arab people is from the Arabian Peninsula. The place of origin for Jewish people is from Judea. Jewish, Yehudi, Yehuda.
Once again, like Arabs in the Levant, for example. Can you still hear me? I hear some weird sound effects.
Okay, I can hear you.
Fine, actually. Yeah, cool. So, like Arabs in the Levant, they're not 100% from Arabia, and I think you may know that, maybe not. They're made up of the people who were living there, like the Phoenicians, like the Arabia.
A lot of the cultures that are currently in North Africa, in Israel, in Europe, they are all a reason of a conquest.
Notice the way he's talking is so not confident. Hamzah is basically, whenever he's saying something that he knows is bullshit, he'll say it in a very light tone with almost no sound, because he knows in his heart that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
That happened back in the day, where they just conquered every little piece of land that they found. So they conquered North Africa. They Islamized the whole land. They conquered Israel. They Islamized the land as well with the Ottomans. That's what happened. That's what happened. And slowly culture started changing. And you guys,
they Islamicized. They Arabized. Hold on. We are Arabized. But where are the Phoenicians today?
Definitions. Can you write it down? I don't know the definition of that word. Phoenicians.
You don't know what a Phoenician. You don't know what a Phoenician is.
I mean, if I have to guess what it is, I would say people from Finland. Sure. I don't know what a Phoenician is.
From Finland? No. Your neighbors. They were also there.
Phoenicians. How do you spell that?
PHOENICIANS.
Okay, go ahead.
So, okay. Where are the ancient Egyptians? What happened to them?
The name Phoenicia is an ancient Greek acronym that did not correspond precisely to a cohesive culture or society as it would have been understood natively. Are you talking about the Greeks?
No.
That's what it says here.
I'm not talking about the Greeks. So okay, I don't have time to like go through all of this. But do you know Phoenicia?
No.
Or Phoenicia? I mean, however.
We don't have a term like that in Hebrew. No. Or in English. I mean, I don't understand that term. It's not my first language, by the way.
Sure. Well, it was an ancient civilization in the Levant, northern Palestine, and today Lebanon. So I definitely think you should look into a little more. I think it's right next to you, and you know, I mean, also this was like 2,000, 3,000 years ago. But like, what I'm trying to say is, what happened to them? Where are the Phoenicians?
Where are they?
Well, yeah, exactly. What happened to all the civilizations? And
you're too stupid, so you don't know the facts, and I'm gonna enlighten you. That's basically the message he's trying to get across. I'm the smart one. You're the dumb one that doesn't know anything. But instead, he looks like an idiot and a manipulator.
People in the Levant. I mean,
the Phoenicians
I know the Jews.
Lebanese. I know the Jews were displaced. I know the Jews.
They are the Lebanese. They are the Syrians and the Palestinians. We are made up of them.
Come.
I'm not gonna come on camera because I don't want you to post me on your TikTok. But Phoenicians were Greek, so maybe you should do some research. Phoenicians, like that's where like language came from. Like the oldest languages are Phoenician, Hebrew, Aramaic. So if maybe you should do some research because Phoenicians were Greek, and maybe you're talking about the Phoenicians.
The Phoenicians I'm talking about are the ones in the Levant. I mean, today it's Lebanon. The
Phoenicians did not come from the Levant.
Northern.
They did not come from the Levant.
They come from Greece, did they?
Yes, they did.
Mediterranean.
Yes, they did. They were Greek. They were not from the Levant.
Mediterranean, though. Like I mean, they were in the Levant. What are you defining
as Mediterranean, though? Like, what's your point?
They were in the Levant. They were in the Levant.
Are you talking about the Philistines?
I think this is.
You might be talking about the Philistines or the Moabites.
No, I'm talking. I'm talking about the Phoenicians. No, I think maybe you're just trying to hyper focus on something so we don't move forward. But
no,
I mean, I'll let you do that if you'd like.
Like you can look it up on Google. Phoenicians were Greek. And
well, I don't know about their ancient connections or whatever.
Then why are you talking about
they were
them?
in the Levant.
Wait, so why are you talking about them if you don't know about their ancient connections?
My feisty wife.
Because they.
Wow, this is an example of somebody who is so immature. He'll bring up a topic to essentially, just distract them. Then when he gets destroyed, he says, well, it doesn't matter anyway. There's no relevance to this. Then why were you arguing it to begin with? Why are you talking about it? Exactly right. And I think that pretty much sums up the rest of the conversation as well. For more, subscribe to the channel. If you want to help us make more of these videos, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. Thank you, and have a good one.